So now in this video I'm going to explain about the arithmetic instruction as DAD, and the meaning of this DAD instruction is add register pair to H and L registers. So here the opcode for this instruction is DAD, which is written as a DAD, and as a operand we need to consider here as a register pair. Why register pair? The reason behind that, it is going to perform 16-bit addition. So here H and L combining together, it is 16-bit register. So here as a second operand also, or as a source operand also, we need to consider here as a register pair. And which register pair? So here we need to consider that BC register pair, which is denoted by B, then DE register pair, which is denoted by D, and then HL register pair, which is denoted by H, and the next it is stack pointer register. So stack pointer is also 16-bit register, which is also considered as a register pair. So now here as a operand of this instruction, it is considered which one? That is called BCDEHL. So now here we can understand their functionality in detail with the example. So let's say, for example, if we are writing here DAD H. So the function of this instruction is what? Whatever the first operand by default for this instruction will be HL register pair, and the second operand must be specified as a operand, as a source operand here in the form of either BC, DE, HL or SP register pair. So here as a function of this instruction, what it will perform? It will perform that the content of HL must be added with the content of register pair specified in the instruction, and after performing this 16-bit of addition, it will be going to store the result into HL register pair itself without making any change in this source register pair. So here let's say, for example, if I want to make double of a given number, so let's say that number I'm considering here as a HL is equal to 2000H. I want to make it double of this number here. So in the normal or in the conventional way, if you are going to multiply this by 2, or if you want to make it double, then you have to use that multiple instructions, so it will take more time. But here by the use of this single instruction, we can do that double of this content. So here this we can consider this HL is given here as a 2000H, and as a register pair I can take it here as a HL also. So this HL is here 2000H. Now after performing the addition, it is becoming here as a 4000H, which will be stored into the HL register pair itself. So let's say this is the data before execution of this instruction. So after execution of this instruction, if you check it here, the content of HL, then it is here 4000H. 4000H. So this will be the result after this, and even you can take it here that another as like, for example, we can take that another example as a DAD SP. So DAD SP, here we can say that before execution of this, if HL content is 2000H and this SP content is 1000H, so after execution of this instruction, this will perform the addition of HL. This will perform here the addition of the content of HL and SP, and after performing this, result will be stored into HL without making any change into this stack pointer content. So here 2000H plus 1000H, it will become here as a 3000H. So that will store into the HL pair. So this content of HL will become 3000H, and here the content of SP, even after the execution also, it will be only 1000H. So I hope you understand about their operations here, how it performs. So simply it will add that source operand register pair content with with the HL register pair contained, and after performing this addition operation, result will be stored into the HL register pair itself. Now, how it will make the effect over the flag? So this is very important here. You must have to note down about the flags. So if result is greater than 16 bit, then only carry flag is set, otherwise no change. So this is very important key point here. So what I am trying to say that if the result is not greater than 16 bit, then before execution of this instruction, what was the status of the flags, those are not going to be changed, or it should not be altered by the execution of this instruction, whatever it is, that is sign, zero, auxiliary carry, parity carry. No flags are going to be changed if the result is not greater than 16 bit. If the result is greater than 16 bit, then also only carry flag will be set. Rest of the bit as like sign bit, 0 bit, then auxiliary carry, parity bit, there is no change. So this is the key point you must have to remember for this instruction. And here it is performing 16 bit of addition. So now we will talk about that their size. So as like if you see that this instruction DAD H or DAD SP, so all those instructions, if you write it here, it is written in the form of only alphabet. So if it is only alphabet, then the size in terms of byte, it will be only 1 byte. So size for this instruction will be only 1 byte. Now machine cycle. So that is very important here. So here this will take 3 machine cycle. Now I'll give that explanation for that. So this 3 machine cycle, out of these 3, one will be opcode fetch. First by default it will be opcode fetch, and there will be 2 idle cycle. There will be 2 idle cycle. So here what do you mean by this? Even though it is having only one memory location, it is required to store this instruction before execution, so that opcode will comes from memory to processor, and that execution of that opcode is called as a opcode fetch operation. Now rest of the 2 machine cycle, which is called as a idle cycle, it is required to complete the execution of this 16 bit of addition. So it is quite lengthy operations to perform by the microprocessor. So even though it is not going to access any data from the memory further after the opcode fetch, then also it requires some longer time to perform this 16 bit of addition operation. So due to that reason, 2 further machine cycle it is required, and that is called idle cycle. So by default for opcode fetching it will take here 4 T state, and for this one it will take 3 plus 3. So here total number of T states required for this DAD instruction is 4 as a opcode fetch, plus 3 for one idle cycle and another 3 for another idle cycle. So total number of T states it will be 10 T states, and this is quite exceptionally different compared to other instructions. So here this machine cycle T states, you need to remember, this is the key point here, because it is not relating to whatever we had studied earlier. So even though it is not accessing that memory chip or any other IO chip, then also it is taking 2 further machine cycle. So this idle cycle is coming only in this DAD instruction. So that is the reason it is somewhat different, crucial or exceptional. So you need to remember about this data, that is 3 machine cycle One is opcode fetch and 2 is for the 2 idle cycle, and total number of TS states for this instruction it is 10. Now the another key point is it is not going to change any flags except that if the result is greater than 16 bit, then only carry flag will be modified to reflect the result. Otherwise there is no change, there is no effect over the flag. So these 2-3 key points you must have to remember for this instruction apart from their functionality. And the major point here also is it will change only to the HL register pair content. Source register pair content it is not going to change. So that is another important point for this instruction. So I hope you understand this instruction with much of clarity, and I hope so you understand this in the better way. Thank you.